Have you planned a trip only to realize it might just break the bank? As we pulled out of Jetty Park, the original plan was to spend the next 2 days soaking up the magic at Disney World. We even looked into staying at Disney's Fort Wilderness because, well, let's be honest, if you are full-time RVers, that's the dream place to be if you're doing Disney. But once we started adding up the cost of the campground, the park tickets, food, and everything else, well, let's just say the pixie dust started to lose its sparkle. So we made a call that's pretty true to our travel model: enjoy the detours. So instead of the Disney crowds and $15 popcorn, we pointed Leonard towards something completely different: St. Augustine, Florida. Over the next 48 hours, we explored century-old forts, joined a haunted ghost tour, checked out local nightlife, and tracked every penny we spent. So was it worth trading the Mickey ears for musket fire? Well, let's find out.
Tucked away just a few miles outside of downtown St. Augustine is Hideaway Trails RV Camp, and it lives up to its name. It's quiet, shaded, and has that peaceful, old Florida vibe. We stayed in site number 6, which was a full hookup, back-in spot, surrounded by trees and just a few steps from the nature trails. It's a no-frills kind of campground, although it does have a bathhouse as well as laundry. It's clean, safe, and a great base camp for exploring the area. Plus, it's super budget-friendly compared to anything closer to the downtown or the beach. If you're looking for a quiet spot to park the rig while you dive into all the history and charm of St. Augustine, Hideaway Trails is a solid choice.
Once we got camp set up, we couldn't wait to head just 2.5 miles down the road into Old St. Augustine. First stop, a cozy little Mexican restaurant that hit the spot after a travel day. Then we made our way around the corner to the heart of the action, St. George Street. This place is packed with energy, from quirky shops and street performers to the kind of charm only a centuries-old town can deliver. But we weren't here to shop. We came for the nightlife. And let's just say it didn't take long to find it. We had a great time downtown, but we needed to get home to get to bed. It had been a long day. Just a short drive south of St. Augustine is one of the most underrated historic sites in Florida, Fort Matanzas National Monument. And the best part? It's completely free to visit. Yep, even the boat ride over to the fort is included. This little fort sits on Rattlesnake Island and was built by the Spanish in 1742. It might look small compared to the Castillo San Marcos, but it played a big role. Fort Matanzas was basically a sentry post guarding the Matanzas Inlet and the back door to St. Augustine. If enemies tried to sneak in from the south, this was the line of defense. The whole fort was made of coquina, the same shell-based stone used to build the Castillo. It's surprisingly tough and actually absorbed cannon fire pretty well. A handful of soldiers lived here on rotation and had one cannon to defend the inlet. One cannon, but it got the job done. Climbing up inside feels like stepping back in time. It's tight quarters, steep ladders, and low ceilings. Definitely not built for comfort. But the view from the top, worth every step. You can see the entire waterway they were guarding. It's quiet here now, but back in the day, this was a serious stronghold. It's one of those places that makes you appreciate just how much history is tucked away in Florida behind the theme parks. So if you're in the area, make the time for this little hidden gem. It's peaceful, it's packed with history, and it's a perfect reminder of why we enjoy the detours. Right in the heart of downtown St. Augustine sits one of the most iconic landmarks in all of Florida, Castillo de San Marcos. This massive stone fortress has stood watch over the coast for more than 350 years, and it's the oldest masonry fort in the continental United States. Built by the Spanish in the late 1600s, it's seen battles, pirate threats, and multiple changes of power between Spain, Britain, and eventually the United States. Walking through the interior, you'll find original gunpowder rooms, barracks, and even the old jail. It's cool, literally and historically, and the thick stone walls feel like they've got stories to tell. On specific days, they also host live reenactments and cannon firings, which really help bring the history to life. The interior of the fort is set up like a large open square, with rooms built into the thick coquina walls all around the perimeter. This was once home to soldiers, prisoners, and supplies, everything needed to survive a siege. You can actually walk through the old guard rooms, storerooms, and even the original chapel. One of the best parts of the tour is heading up to the gun deck. You climb up a narrow staircase, and it opens up to a 360-degree view of the bay and the city. Up here, you'll find rows of original and replica cannons, each pointed outward across the water, just like they would have been during the fort's many battles. The view is incredible. From the deck, you can see that enemy ships wouldn't have had a chance to sneak up on this place in the harbor. It's also just a great spot to take in the city's mix of old world charm and modern life all around you.
As the sun set over St. Augustine, we traded historic landmarks for haunted alleyways on the Ghosts of St. Augustine tour. And this city doesn't mess around with its haunted history. From shadowy alleyways to ancient cemeteries, our guide led us through some seriously spooky spots. One of the strangest things we saw, a palm tree growing right out of a live oak tree, known as the love tree. Local legend says that if you kiss beneath it, your love will last forever, or you'll haunt each other for eternity. We ended the tour at the oldest wooden schoolhouse in the United States. Creaky, candlelit, and the perfect place to wrap up a ghost story or two.
Okay, well, that is a wrap for St. Augustine.
Yeah, I guess it's a wrap for Florida in general.
It is. We just felt that, St. Augustine was probably a better option for us than spending all that money at Disney.
Although we spent a pretty penny here too.
we did. As a matter of fact, in case you're wondering, right over here, this is what we spent for the 2 days in St. Augustine. It was way over our budget, but it was still cheaper than Disney.
Oh,
so,
by loads.
All right, so we're time to hit the road. We're packing up. We're heading out. We're still going north. So tune in next time to find out where we're at, somewhere between mile markers.